you have to think about where your ideal customer is. And what I mean by that is, where are they in their journey to solving the problem that you can solve or that your product and service can solve? And so we oftentimes think it's a tactical problem. It's not an SEO problem. It's not a Google Ads problem. It's not a social media advertising problem. It's not because you're not posting enough on social media. One of the big problems is that A, you haven't done enough buyer psychographic and what we call problem-aware work in the strategy component leading to your marketing plan. And so the first step is we have to understand where that person is in the journey. Step number 2, we need to then put an invitation in front of them for the appropriate stage of the journey. I eat out at a lot of restaurants. I love great food. I love cooking. I love the whole idea. I don't know if I backed up 30 years if I had to become a chef. I'm that fascinated with fine dining and cuisine. I can leave one of the most amazing restaurants and have had amazing steak dinner. Amazing steak, maybe lobster, all the fixings, you know how it works. And one of the finest chefs in Italian cuisine inside the same hotel or resort here in Las Vegas could walk up to me and invite me to his or her restaurant. And my answer would be no. Why? Well, it's because I just finished. I'm full. I can't eat all of the best meals in one day. And so the invitation was inappropriate for the timing of my being a most ideal customer. I could have been the best ideal customer. I could have been the client avatar, the buyer persona, all of that. But the timing of the invitation was wrong. Unless your business is an emergency services providing business, then you must think about how your prospect goes through the journey. We talk to a lot of businesses that it can take 6 to 12 months for the buyer to go through the process, right? I spent many years in professional service businesses where the buyer's journey could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. If you think real estate services, mortgage services, financial planning services, anything high ticket, B2B, for the last 20 to 30 years, that's all I've done. That's all we do here at Yoco Local. And the funny part about it is everyone wants to go from starting an ad campaign or starting an SEO campaign or starting to work on social media and go from I just posted or I just ran this ad, where's my customers, right? And it just doesn't work that way. I hope that example works well. The third thought that I have for you is, what do you put in front of people when they are not ready to buy today, or maybe the problem isn't urgent today, right? That's the other thing you got to think about. Statistics in the world of digital marketing say that 96% or so of the people that ever visit your website will ever be ready to buy that day. And so if we believe that that's true, it is required that we do something to assist the 96 out of 100 who are not ready to buy today. There's a study that goes back, I want to say 2002, 2003, completely different industry than maybe what we're talking about right now, but the data was significantly relevant. And the data said that of 100 people who visit your website or inquire or start the process to look into a problem that they may solve, 50 or so % of those people will actually buy that product or service within the next 90 days to 18 months. And some of you sit back and say, well, Daryl, I've got to make money today. I've got to sell today. I need customers today. And I hear you. I get you. But what I want to explain to you is this idea and the concept. I love this book, The Blue Ocean Strategy. I read it back in 2004, and I applied it to marketing. I started thinking, okay, here's this survey that says 50% or so of the people that inquire are actually going to buy the thing that they inquired about. But if only 4% are ready today, that means I'm leaving 45 or so % on the table. What if I could figure out how to enter their world and be top of mind? I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs who love networking. They love getting referrals. They love face-to-face. They believe they're the best in the business at what they do. Daryl, if you get us a bunch of leads, we're going to close 80% of those leads. Why do they say that? They say that because they're really confident in what they do and how the solution that they offer, their expertise, is sound. They believe it's the best in class. We love working with clients like that. It's actually imperative because when you work with online marketing, those people don't have a relationship with you. But what if there was a way for you to actually believe that digital strategies, processes, and tactics, whether it's social, search, or otherwise, can do the same thing that your offline networking would do? And if you thought about it that way and just said, okay, let's actually build the right marketing strategy and marketing plan around the 45% who inquired but are going to do it later, and then we work on the process to convert the 4%, 5% that are ready to do it today. A lot of people base their marketing campaigns around that 4 or 5% and say something's failing or not failing based on that number alone. That is a mistake in all sorts of marketing, not just digital. It's in any channel you can think of. And so my encouragement for you today is to think about, number one, is your invitation the right invitation? Is the timing right? Number two, do you actually know what the triggering events are? What's going to trigger someone in the middle of the night to go online and find your brand? Or what are they going to do? Your job is to show up there. If you show up there, for example, I'm starving, and in the earlier example, I didn't just leave one of the finest steakhouses in town, but instead now that expert Italian cuisine chef approaches me for a meal and an invitation to come to their restaurant, and I'm starving, right? That's that 4%. Finding someone who's starving is the 4%. It isn't that they're not out there, but generally speaking, there was a triggering event that would lead to them who could make it to your invitation at that time. I would likely go to that restaurant at that time. Your job is to figure out all the triggering events. We do this in our workshops. We do this with our clients in our auditing process and in our buyer persona process. As we're building campaigns, the reason why they work is not because we're so good. It's because we're actually understanding before we ever push buttons on SEO, writing blog content, emails, Facebook ads, doesn't matter, Google ads. It's because we understand where the buyer is going to go when they have a triggering event. So those are a couple of ideas that I'd like to share with you in this video. Hopefully some of those are helpful, and we'll see you on another video in the near future. Take care.